Sunday Scaries, how many times do you see a trio headline our Sunday Scaries? Well, we have to do that for the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe this is more about the Houston Texans defense right now, which is an absolute chainsaw in fantasy to the opposition. But Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce, all with ugly performances, Matthew.
Just absolutely brutal. I mean, the 3 interceptions for Mahomes. Now, I think his day looks different if Tyquan Thornton catches that long touchdown, right? It hit him as perfect throw, and just Thornton just makes a bad drop here. But drops plagued Mahomes and plagued everyone here. Rashee Rice has 2 drops, right? His fewest fantasy points and receiving yards in a game this season. Travis Kelce, fewest fantasy points in a game since week 2 of last year as well. And Mahomes, this was his fewest fantasy points in a game since week 8 of 2023. I think it was a combination of they didn't play well, and the Houston Texans defense really did show up. And so, we'll see how the Chargers do tonight. That's who the Chiefs play next week. Man, this is just a tough day at the office. I don't know that there's a massive takeaway here. You're probably all starting all of them, but, in the battle of who could win, Andy Reid versus the Texans defense, man, just as dominant as a defense as we've seen in the NFL in quite some time.
Maybe not a massive takeaway for the Chiefs, but, Jay, maybe the opposite for the Bucs right now with Baker Mayfield and Emeka Egbuka. The drop sinks Emeka Egbuka's day, and Baker just hasn't really been good for weeks right now.
Yeah, I thought Patrick Mahomes had the greatest 14 for 33 3-interception game in history last night. Baker Mayfield, though, on the other hand, his 14 for 30 game, you're right. He has not played well really in 2 months. He's dealing with an assortment of injuries. Yeah. Egbuka as well, just a disaster. Catches 2 of 9 targets, drops the lollipop in the end zone. So I don't think you can really start Emeka Egbuka going forward.
No. In the same game, Matthew, Chris Olave, good win for the Saints, but Chris Olave not a huge part of it. Just 3 catches for 30 yards from Tyler Shuck.
Had a bad drop. He could have come down with it. Like, if he comes down with it, I think his day looks a little bit different. The positives are he still had at least a 25% target share in 3 of the past 4 games. He gets the 5 targets. Again, they didn't need to throw very much. Tyler Shuck was really good and effective on the ground. And so, I think more a bad day at the office for Chris Olave. This is only his 2nd game with under 14 fantasy points since week 6.
Our 3 running backs to finish out the Scaries, and unfortunately these names have come up with duds way too often this year. Jeanty, 30 yards. Breece Hall, 43 yards. Kenneth Walker, 29 yards. He actually lost the yard on a reception, Jay. It's just too often with these guys that were drafted way higher than compared to what they've actually had an output of.
Yeah, in Jeanty in particular, I just think there's no chance for efficiency in that offense.
How about this, Matthew, from the Foot Brawler?
Oh, no, Methuselah reference.
Reminded me of the old Noah to Methuselah connection back in my early fantasy football days. Very well done, Foot Brawler.
You guys weren't there for that, but it was something to behold.
Lucky that you were there for it.
Literally my 2nd fantasy league ever.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.